Joining us now, Michigan Congresswoman Liz MacDonald. Congresswoman, it's great to have you on. Your reaction when you heard the president's speech on this, because now we have 19 governors planning to fight this as an unlawful, unconstitutional overreach of government power. What do you say?
I say we shouldn't be surprised. This is the administration and this is the president who's acting much more like a dictator than the president. We shouldn't be surprised. We just watched him stand on the steps of the Capitol and said, I know this eviction moratorium is unconstitutional, but I'm going to do it anyways. He knows what he's doing right now with the vaccine mandates are unconstitutional, but he's doing it anyways. At the end of the day, government needs to get out of the way and let business do their job and do their business.
You know, Congresswoman, the people in Washington are saying people are getting sick. We need to get them vaccinated. But the issue is it's a constitutional fight because the Supreme Court already said that public health powers reside with the states, not the federal government. And then you had Ronald McClain. He's the chief of staff, Congresswoman. He's facing criticism. He said the Biden plan is a, quote, workaround to get 80 million vaccinated. Legal expert Jonathan Turley says, what does that mean? A workaround around the Constitution? Jonathan Turley calls this breathtakingly daft. What do you say? That this could be the basis to be used in lawsuits against us. What do you say?
Well, it's going to be. And we're already hearing and seeing lawsuits being filed around this. So to me, let's take a different approach. Let's take a positive approach. Listen, the threats don't work. If you threaten people to get vaccinated, they're not going to do it. Why don't you start with a positive message? That seems to work a lot better. The other thing that I would say that the government needs to do is the American people have lost trust in the government. If we could just tell the truth, we don't expect people to be perfect, but we do expect people to tell the truth, be consistent and transparent. I think a lot more people would go out and get the vaccine after consulting with their doctor if they had some faith in the government. But when we lie to the American people, or this administration lies to the American people, and this administration tries to massage and manipulate and control perception, that doesn't help people go out and get the vaccine. It makes them more cautious about getting it because they can't trust this administration.
If this is the president stepping into the private sector, it violates numerous constitutional clauses, not only just the interstate commerce clause. It's about the powers of the executive branch versus the separation of powers. The president is trying to use OSHA, Emergency Standards Authority. OSHA has not used this emergency authority since 1983. Courts have already knocked this out, saying you can't do this, trying to use these standards to enact sweeping public health powers. So this was in the asbestos lawsuits. We have that. We have the inequities here. It's unfair. The president is accused of exempting Postal Service workers, exempting illegal immigrants. The Postal Service workers are his union allies. I want to move on to this. Mid-sized companies, the little guys, they're worried. Yep. They're pro-vaccine, a lot of them. They're saying, yeah, we're for vaccines, but putting this mandate on top of them when they can't find workers after the government's extra jobless benefits debacle. I mean, so what would be your message to the mid-size workers, the little guys?
You know, I feel sorry for those people. And the biggest question that I have is, what's the difference between 99 employees and 100 employees? Does COVID only affect businesses that have 100 employees or more? And listen, we are in a state right now where we have 11 million job openings that we cannot fill. Putting forth these mandates are not going to help the business owner, especially the small business owner that is struggling right now to find workers. People are going to either A, quit their job, or B, not return to work if we put these mandates.
Yeah.
We have a labor shortage, and this mandate is not going to help that.
You know, let's listen to this. The president, Nancy Pelosi, Press Secretary Jen Psaki, Dr. Fauci, just months ago said no to vaccine mandates. This is not the role of the federal government to do this. They said at that time this is a government overreach to try to force Americans to get vaccinated. Watch this.
No, I don't think it should be mandatory. I wouldn't demand to be mandatory, but I would do everything in my power, just like I don't think masks have to be made mandatory nationwide.
That's not the role of the federal government. That is the role that institutions, private sector entities, and others may take.
So here's the thing. We cannot require someone to be vaccinated. That's just not what we can do. It is a matter of privacy to know who is or who isn't.
You don't want to mandate and try and force anyone to take a vaccine. We've never done that. You can mandate for certain groups of people, like health workers, but for the general population, you can't. But we don't want to be mandating from the federal government to the general population. It would be unenforceable and not appropriate.
Okay, Congressman, people are saying, what changed? What changed their minds in a year's time? Is it because his poll numbers are collapsing? Is it because he botched the Afghan exit? What changed?
I think we follow the political science, not the real science. And again, I'm going to go back to this is the whole problem with the administration. Just tell the truth and be consistent. What in God's name is so difficult about doing that?
Congresswoman Lisa McClain, it was terrific to have you on. It's so good to get your insights and perspective there. We'll have you back on again soon. It's good to see you.